My name is Mike Dunne. I farm here in Kilworth, County Cork. I farm with my father Tom and my uncle Mikey. So I suppose we're a spring-based calving system. We're milking just shy of 400 cows, mostly Norwegian Reds. So nearly all pedigree Norwegian Red now at this stage. The father started breeding them maybe 30 years ago. He started with a bit of Swedish Red and then transitioned over to Norwegian Red. So it's nearly all Norwegian Red now at this stage. The labour wouldn't be overly massive here, so we need a good robust cow. So easy calving cow, that's kind of what the Norwegian Reds give us. Easy calving cow, calf gets up, drinks the cow, and then the cow is out to grass as soon as she's maybe 2-3 days after calving. So keep it as simple as possible, as labour efficient as possible as well. Last year now, it was a bit difficult year and everything, did it around just shy of the 450 kilos mixed solids delivered. And we feed all whole milk to the calves in as well. With the Norwegian Red, they have a good solid calf, good saleable calf. So we feed them the whole milk just to get them a bit stronger and get them sold early. So having a good solid robust cow gives us an opportunity to have a good beef calf off of them. We've been using all sex semen now for maybe 3 years, all Norwegian Red sex semen, and we've gotten very good results, which allows us then to have good beef calves in to sell, and there seems to be a good market for them. Normally we'll pick maybe 6 or 7 bulls, so they'll have to be doing kind of over the 30 kilos of mixed solids, positive fat and protein. Good temperament is always very important when we're picking them. We bring in a good few heifers every year, so temperament is very important. So fertility then obviously is high up on the list. So the fertility would be good. We'd be getting over 60% to first service, and be under the 10% empty rate most years. So a 9-week breeding season is all we'll do. So they have to go, they've kind of 3 runs to go on calf, and that's it then. The father spends a good bit of time going through the Norwegian TMI, and we'd use a bit of both, with TMI probably be the main one. I suppose if anyone's looking at Norwegian Red bulls, if you go onto the TMI, it gives a massive breakdown of the bull and all the different criteria. So I suppose the two of us will sit down and go through the bulls on the TMI, and that's probably the main thing we use to pick them. Problem with EBI is when we bring a lot of the bulls we bring in start off low EBI, but as the cows mature and get older, here we probably have an average of nearly 5 lactations. So once they go over that, then what we find is the older cows have a higher EBI than the younger cows. So they almost have to prove their own worth, and as cows get older, the EBI increases. The Norwegian Reds are good to come cycling after calving. So anything from a fortnight after calving, they'll be cycling again. So it makes it a lot easier to get them to go back and calf. So like everything with us, with a 9-week breeding season, most cows will be calved 6 weeks before we start breeding. So they'll have 2 cycles before we start breeding. Some of them 3+ cycles. We can pick nearly 70% of the cows to allocate sex semen. I suppose we've been full sex semen for the last 3 years. So every year it's kind of been increasing maybe 5%. So the first year we did around 55 to 60. 2 years ago it was 62%, and last year it was 67% sex semen. So it's a very good result, and so it was all Norwegian Red sex semen. The only heat detection we have is tail faint. So some of the bulls we used are Scone, Crowval, Hallinger, and I suppose some of them then would be sons of Starflower, which we used back along as well. So no, it is, I suppose we critique all the bulls in the TMI, and we pick out the best ones and we bring them in then through Dovea if they weren't available in the catalogue, and or else we do some of the ones on the catalogue as well. So they have a good selection of bulls, to be fair, in the last couple of years. Selection is getting better every year. Back along we'd have been really on fertility, we'd have picked the bulls. So in the last couple of years we use a bit more milk. So the fertility there is in the herd now, and we put a bit more milk into the cow. So that's the one positive about Norwegian Reds. As a breed and whole, they have a massive selection of bulls. So you can, if you're looking for fertility, if you're looking for good beef, if you're looking for milk, if you're looking for fat and protein, they have all those criteria within the breed because they have such a good breeding program. So it's just a matter of picking the right bull to suit your herd to get the right output. The farm here would be a difficult enough farm to manage. It's going about 2.5 kilometers with a good steep incline. So we're going from kind of 500 feet here up to over 700 feet. So the feet and legs are very important then because of that. So since using Norwegian Red, we've definitely improved our lameness. it made a big improvement. They're covering a lot of ground, so feet and legs is very important. Temperament is very important as well, because we're bringing in a lot of heifers. We don't have a lot of staff in the milking parlour, so for the summer it'll only be one person milking. Temperament is very important. So normally, like this year now, the heifers went very well. We might have to hold them for the first milking, maybe the second milking, and by the third milking they're off the main herd and they're coming in like normal, and there's no extra care needed for them. So it's also very important when you have students around that the temperament is good, because you don't want any accidents. We're selling a lot of the calves to the same people for a long time now, and I suppose the fact that they keep coming back to buy the calves says a lot as well. But they seem to be quite happy with them. Sure, even the cull cows there now, we have no problem selling the cull cows. They're a good, strong, robust cow with a wide frame. Some of them are tall, but the older ones wouldn't be overly tall. But they have good capacity, and what we find is they actually weigh heavier than they look. So they have good capacity, and then that comes back then to the milk as well. You can get the feed into them. So if a cow is going to produce the milk, she has to eat the feed. So capacity is very important. And again, going back to the TMI, all those characteristics are on the TMI. And capacity is important in the cow. And if a cow had a narrow front end, or bull had a narrow front end, we wouldn't use that bull. Especially on the grass, they have a lot of grass to take in fast, compared to maybe other systems across the world where they're on TMR diets and they have the day to chew away on the food. So we don't do any synchronizing or anything like that. So as they come in naturally, if the cow is for sex semen, she'll get that, but the other cows then get beef. So we use a selection of breeds really. We use mostly Angus, a little bit of red Angus, but then we use a few breeds like last year we used a little bit of Limousine, Aubrax, a little bit of Speckled Park. I suppose breeds that will throw maybe a red calf. When we have the red cow, then we can capitalise on having a bit of colour in the calves. So it all helps when you go to sell them. I know a lot of people use them in crossbreeding and three-way crosses. I suppose in the last year or two, we've started to use a little bit of Holstein back in them to get a bit of, or Holstein Friesian to get a bit of hybrid vigour. And the plan now going forward for any Holstein Friesian we used is to go 2+1. So we'll breed that crossbred calf back to the Norwegian Red, and then breed her calf again to Norwegian Red. So keep as much Norwegian Red in the bloodline as possible, just for ease of management. Ease of management is the big thing here, as labour becomes more scarce and harder to get, and especially skilled labour. Having a cow that will mind herself and will make the farmer's job a lot easier. They're a very easy calving cow. So like for the spring now, there's the three of us and the two students, and what we'll do is we'll check them there maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and the cows won't be seen again until 6 o'clock in the morning. Any cow that's going to calve at night goes into her own individual pen, and they calve away themselves. A lot of them say that is the biggest herd of Norwegian Red cows in the world.
My name is Marty Hayes. I am the Dairy Program Manager in Dovea Genetics. We work with Gino in Norway, who is the company who has a massive Norwegian Red breeding program, and I suppose each year we do our best to try and source the newest and best bulls for Irish systems. So Tom and Mike have done a super job over the years. They have a super herd of cows as well. And you know, they look good, and they're also doing it in the tank, which is what Irish systems really need as well. So Gino are the sole supplier of Norwegian Red genetics in the world, and we are the sole distributors of that semen in Ireland. The two guys here have really shown us what it can do in your herd. So I suppose fertility, feet and legs, udder health, they're three of the biggest things that the Norwegian Red bulls can bring to your system. And of course, I suppose we pick bulls on both TMI, the Norwegian index, and EBI, the Irish index. So we combine those and we work with our Gino rep and try and pick the best bulls for Irish systems that convert both well, or that are really good on TMI and EBI. So in terms of picking your Norwegian Red bulls for the upcoming season, if you're picking bulls on TMI or EBI, we're here in Dovea, our area reps or technicians, and both in-house as well. We can help you to pick the best bulls for your system. Again, we run a sire advice service in Dovea, so I suppose if you want us to match the best bulls to the best cows in your herd, we can provide that service. And again, talk to us, and if you ever wanted a visit from a a Norwegian Red representative, we can organise that too for your herd. We work with lots of other international distributors across the world to bring you the best in any of the breeds that we distribute. So those breeds would be Montbellier, Norwegian Red, Fleckvieh, Brown Swiss, and lots of other minor dairy breeds as well. So I suppose we work with our distributors to make sure we can get the best selection of bulls that are available that suit Irish markets. We have sex semen and conventional semen available for the vast majority of bulls in our catalogue, so it's nice to give farmers the choice to breed those high quality females. So on the Norwegian Reds, they have super udder health, and I suppose from our travel to Norway and speaking to breeders in Ireland and abroad, that is really a major benefit of the breed. An interesting fact is in the whole Norwegian Red population, they do not use any teat sealer when they're drying off cows, and less than 1% of the cows get dry cow tubes, antibiotics at dry off. So in terms of udder health, they are a super breed, and I suppose if you have a problem with udder health, they're definitely a breed to consider to improve the situation on your farm. For feet and legs, the common trend of the black hooves and good claw health is really coming to the fore in the breed, and we see that especially in this farm here on Dunne's. So I suppose cows are walking long distances, and they've really focused on claw health in the last number of years, and have seen the benefits with less and less lame cows every year, even though they're walking up to 2.5 kilometres per day. Tom and Mike's cows, I suppose walking long distances, you would think that the milk volume would suffer a lot, which they say it would. I suppose they are making a conscious effort to maintain the milk in their genetics, and I suppose in kilos of fat and protein, their production is still super, even though their cows are working really hard every day.